Theresa May came out in the UK and added to that, said that basically anyone who wants to use Twitter or Facebook, who is a domestic extremist, in their words, a non-violent extremist, would have to get government permission to do so. I mean, this is creepy, it's Orwellian, but as you said, the very fact that he's talking about it would raise suspicions. I mean, that would make people believe that 7/7 and 9/11 were in some way staged if they're having to go to these lengths to censor people.
That's precisely right. If he were to say, "Now I know many of you today believe that I am a reptilian sorcerer." What? No, we didn't think that. Why would it? And I know to you who think that I'm daft. No, maybe we should. Look, I thought, and I'm sorry, but for that terrible accent, I in no one in any way want to appear Anglophobic or whatever the particular phrase is, but he's speaking before the UN, whatever that's worth, and this is what he comes up with. Let's hearken back to the granddaddy of all. The granddaddy of all. One of the most frightening pieces of either juridical or legal or academic balderdash, bunkum, and hooey was a piece co-written by Cass R. Sunstein and Adrian Vermeule, I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, both from Harvard Law School, entitled Conspiracy Theories. This is the Magna Carta. This was in 2008. And if I could, and I don't like reading things, but there's no way I could, Michael, do this justice without reading just this. This is from the précis or the abstract. Many millions of people hold conspiracy theories. They believe that powerful people have worked together in order to withhold the truth about some important practice or some terrible event. Stop right there. That's history. Go through history. Governments, people, organizations, holding back the truth. This is the subject matter of an academic treatise on where did these people come up with this plumb crazy idea that governments. What has your whole show been today? It's about Ebola and the lies, the prevarication, the harm that is being hidden. But this is what he said. I must. Those who subscribe to conspiracy theories may create serious risks, including risks of violence. And the existence of such theories raises questions, raises significant challenges for policy and law. The first challenge is to understand the mechanisms by which conspiracy theories prosper. The second challenge is to understand how such theories might be undermined. Now he's talking about, not only do we want to understand, okay, fine. We can talk about why are people superstitious? Why are people not, whatever. Fine, I understand that. But how can we undermine them? Here is the important, and I'll just leave it at this. Because those who hold conspiracy theories typically suffer from a crippled epistemology. A crippled epistemology, in accordance with which it is rational to hold such theories, the best response. Let me stop right there. This was Obama's regulation czar. This is the husband of Samantha Power. This is a noted legal heavyweight, rock star, juridical and academic bigwig. He says, the best response consists in cognitive infiltration of extremist groups. Paul Joseph Watson, every single thing that you talk about, that I talk about, that anybody talks about, could, by any stretch of the imagination, be construed as extreme. Extreme by what standard? I am a lawyer by training, and a statute is per se unconstitutional when it is susceptible to reasons, to explanations, to interpretations that are inconsistent, that you read and you're not sure. For example, the statute that says, do no wrong. I don't know what that means. Paul Joseph Watson, what is extreme? Can truth be extreme?
That's the question we'll ask after the break, Lionel. Stay there. It's the Alex Jones Show Live, Infowars.com. We'll be back with your calls. Don't go away.
Our big story. Gun owners react as politicians continue to ban high-capacity magazines state by state.
I think that these weapons ought to be stopped.
Magazine restrictions have already happened in 9 states. Staffed with former special operations personnel, GunMagWarehouse.com is the only company that specializes in gun magazines. GunMagWarehouse.com has the largest selection of the magazines you should stock up on. Go now to GunMagWarehouse.com before it happens in your state. Get it before you regret it.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
On September 30th, 2014, the first confirmed case of Ebola appeared in the U.S. This, combined with several other unidentified viruses, have some of our customers at 30dayfoodsupply.com concerned about the safety of our domestic food supply, resulting in a surge of our $99 90-serving kits. While we at 30dayfoodsupply.com have no expertise in epidemiology, we are aggressively purchasing raw materials that are currently in stock, and we intend to continue to sell our 30-day non-GMO emergency food supply for only $99 as long as we can. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then pass the savings on to you. Call 541-229-0010 and purchase our 30-day, 90-day serving emergency food supplies for only $99, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit our website at 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. 541-229-0010.
DNA Force. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. DNA Force. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. DNA Force. We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force. Tell folks how you got introduced to Super Male, and then when Super Female came out, tell us what happened.
After I saw such a huge positive change in my husband, I had to try it for myself.
Talk about the effects.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I have drive to go to the gym. I feel like I look better. I feel better. I feel sexier. I love it.
Even if you don't believe in supplements, take the challenge. Get a bottle of Super Male, a bottle of Super Female. Check it out for yourself. Consult your physician. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. This is life-changing.
Americans, prepare for financial ruin. That is what one of the world's richest men, Donald Trump, said just a few weeks ago. What are you doing to prepare? The problems that caused the last financial crisis were never fixed. In fact, they're even worse now. The total amount of debt in the U.S. has grown by more than 57% since September 2008. The too big to fail banks are much larger, and the massive derivatives bubble is spiraling so far out of control that the only thing left to do is watch the spectacular crash landing that is inevitably coming. If you're a baby boomer with retirement funds, it's time you consider exiting the Wall Street casino and start a cash-flowing international business of your own. There may be ways to preserve your wealth, but history has shown that few things can grow your wealth like having your own business. The crash is coming. Take measures now to soften the landing. Go to babyboomerbackupPlan.com or call 888-507-8789. That's babyboomerbackupPlan.com.
We're back live on the Alex Jones Show with Lionel of LionelMedia.com. Going to be taking a few of your calls for Lionel at 1-800-259-9231. That's 1-800-259-9231. So get those lined up for the next segment. We just played a clip of David Cameron in front of the United Nations last week. Basically, he was talking about ISIS. He made a comparison basically saying that anybody who is a non-violent extremist is in the same category as ISIS, what did he characterize as a non-violent extremist? Basically, anyone who questions the government narrative on events such as the 7/7 attacks in London or 9/11. So it's basically this process, and we asked the question before the break, what is considered extreme? This process of creating a new brand of thought crime to, in fact, brand individuals who espouse it. Any questioning of the government narrative whatsoever is not only a conspiracy theory anymore, which they've used as that pejorative term to demonize free thought, to demonize the questioning of any motive of any person in a position of power. Now they've gone one step further, Lionel, and are saying that you could be in league with the terrorists. I mean, we saw after 9/11, we must never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories, George W. Bush. Now they're saying that we could be in league with the terrorists by espousing this dangerous notion of questioning government. How extreme is that?
Well, let me ask you this, Paul Joseph Watson. Let's say I were to question the government, and I hate air quotes, but I will do it. I question the government not out of any kind of nefarious wrongdoing, but let's just say I think they're inept. Let's say that I question the Warren Commission. Now, another question is there a statute of limitations to my questioning the government? If I question the findings of the Maine in 1898, there was certainly complicity. I think we all can understand that. If I were to question the United States' role in, let's say, Operation Ajax, the overthrow of Mossadegh. Oh, by the way, another question is, let's say I were to question something now, and something is declassified. So imagine a Paul Joseph Watson in the era of Mossadegh and the Shah, who says, I think the CIA was involved in that. Under this theory, were it to be enacted, Paul Joseph Watson, a.k.a. Michael, is incarcerated. Now, years later, the CIA declassifies it and says, you know what, we were right. Do we let you out? Isn't that called academic quest? I mean, do because I can question, and not 9/11, but I can question anything. I can question the government in saying that Agent Orange was far more lethal and teratogenic and problematic, and depleted uranium and DU. I'm not saying the government, I could be questioning the finding based on ineptitude, bad sample size. I could have a pretty clinical way. So this broad brush admonition, don't question your elders, covers everything from the most benign disagreement. Let me ask you this. Last week, Senator Bob Graham of the 9/11 Commission said, I want this redacted testimony back. I want it known regarding Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11. Is that nonviolent extremism? Is he not calling into question his own commission? Is this internal nonviolent extremist? Is he an internal conspiracy theorist? Is he questioning himself? I mean, think about this. It is our duty. It is our duty. It is inherent. It is in our DNA to question authority, question anything. And you know why? Because we want to. I don't need permission. And by the way, I find this fascinating. As you know, Paul, there are brilliant people out there who, by virtue of having these newfangled devices that we're talking on, can look at something. Remember when they said, look at the video of this horrible ISIS or ISIL or Daesh or Sham? I mean, the names grow. Remember when Gaddafi was ultimately spelled 38 different ways? We like to do that. But the reason why I think they want to ask you, don't go back and look at these videos, because you might see some glaring problem in some bad editing. It's very clever. So don't look at the videos that we've put out. Don't question it. Don't ask. Don't talk. Don't speak. Just nod in hypnotic obeisance.
Your calls for Lionel coming up after the break, lionelmedia.com. We're going to talk about media narratives and the collapse of trust in the mainstream media. This is the Alex Jones Show Live, Infowars.com. Your calls coming up. Stay tuned.
We're on the